So let us understand the perspective given of truth given by Justice D.Y. Chandrachud. So the assurance of the triumph of truth, that is Satyameva Jayate, is inscribed in India's national motto. This is very much evident. So yet in a post-truth polity, we are living in a post-truth world. So one in which there is contestation over truth. So there is contestation over truth, and there is also falsification of truth going on. So truth has been contested, vigorously, and then there is falsification of truth. And then citizens and institutions have to be mindful in this context about the version of truth that is allowed to be triumphant. So Satyameva Jayate, which version of truth should be allowed to be triumphant? This must be the public, in essence. What we mean by public is the collective responsibility. It's a shared collective responsibility. The health survival of a democracy is predicated upon the endurance of a culture of truth. So, if there is absence of culture of truth, then the health survival of democracy, will be at threat. As we see, there is a general perception that India's democracy edifice is weakening. So this can be largely attributed to the capitulation of the fourth estate, which is media. So if media, sometimes we can see the projection of truth of their own version. So there is erosion of institutional integrity. So this is also one threat for truth. And then there is partisanship of bodies that are supposedly to be, the custodians of democracy. So if the bodies who are established by the constitution are partisan, so then the democratic foundations or the custodians of democracy would be a threat. And then commitment to uphold the truth. So the commitment to uphold truth, Mr. Chandrachud bond, is seldom a simple exercise. Commitment to uphold truth is not easy. It's not simple. So this is because truth itself is multifaceted. The multifaceted nature of truth does not make it complicated to uphold the truth. For example, in India, where there is diversity, we boost unity in diversity, but when it comes to the truth aspect, the non-representative societies, that do not accommodate the opinions of the margins. For example, there is the opinions of margins of the Dalits, of women's religion and sexual minorities. These their opinions are always put to the margin. So their version of truth may not come to the mainstream. So that is the version of the dominant, who that becomes the truth, and it may turn out to be exclusive in nature. And in this way, truth can also become exclusive. So here we are opening up dimensions about truth being exclusive and inclusive in a diverse society. And then challenge therefore is to develop mechanism of consensus. When there is consensus, for the solution of this is consensus where you involve all stakeholders from the minority, majority, and then their version of truth is brought forward, and then consensus is emerges. This was Mahatma Gandhi, arguably the most famous Indian in the modern times. He was a seeker of truth. Ultimately, any spiritual seeker would like to find out the truth. So that is why people tell that wisdom finds truth. So this is one perspective shared by Vivek. So apart from that, continuing with the same line of thought, speaking truth to power. So truth is a weapon, if you see, to contract a power. Because if truth comes out, it can counteract power and obviate the predisposition of the tyranny. So truth, knowing the truth is very much crucial in today's context. The assertion of the power of truth to drive and sustain society, and the need for citizens to wield it as a shield and weapon to keep their societies free and democratic. So this is one perspective. The need for the citizens to assert his right to speak to power. So there is a need for citizens also, from citizens' perspective, to assert his right to speak uh, to speak to power. Citizens had not just the right but the duty to question power in the interest of truth. Why they have to question power? It is in the interest of truth ultimately. You have to be truth seekers. Because governments increasingly monopolize power, as we know, government has a tendency to monopolize power and try to support it with falsehood. So, if there's a tendency, then there's inherent tendency in the government. That's why citizens should question. The culture should be built to question truth to power. So truth is the weapon to be contracted with power and obviate the predisposition of the to tyranny, because democracy and truth go hand in hand. So this is where we must understand that democracy and truth go hand in hand, and democracy needs truth to survive. So democracy needs truth to survive. As we know, the culture of truth should be there for a strong democracy. The present global and national scenarios where freedoms are shrinking. Currently, we see freedom in a way are shrinking, rights are getting eroded, truth is getting suppressed. So that is where the context arises. Caution that truth as determined by the state. So, if the truth is determined by the state, it may not always be free from falsehood. So, truth should not be determined by state alone. This is the thing, and that one cannot rely on the state to determine the truth. And must also not expect to rely on the state. So, truth must be explored from all directions. Chandrachud also made practical propositions to recover truth from the post-truth world. So, how you can recover truth from post-truth world? So in which there is contestation between your truth versus my truth, and a tendency to ignore truth not in alignment with one's perceptions. So this is one nature of truth today. So cannot be done by strengthening public institutions. Again, when I talked about erosion of institutional integrity, so here comes the aspect of strengthening the institutional public institutions, ensuring that media is free. We talked about the fourth estate, fourth media rule, fourth pillar of democracy. So we must strengthen the media. And then creating an education system should be such that it instills in children the temperament to pose questions, but to power. So not only questions in general, question to power. That is the most important point. And by acknowledging and celebrating the plurality of opinions. So we must acknowledge and celebrate plurality of opinions. So moving forward, citizens' duty to protect the integrity of elections. So citizens' duty, to protect the integrity of elections. So this must also be there, as the election is a bedrock of democracy. Since the world is increasingly divided among various lines, maybe be it social, be it economic, be it religious, and we are living in echo chambers of bubbles, where people are only exposed to the viewpoint they agree with. So they're only exposed to such viewpoints where they agree with, and never come in contact with an opposing one. So it is necessary to listen and accommodate other views and sentiments. So this is important perspective, and this will also make it incumbent on people. This will also make it incumbent on people to be kinder and more sensitive to those around them. So when we listen to others, become more kind and become more sensitive to their version of truth. So, a state which has Satyameva Jayate as its motto makes it obligatory for citizens to ensure that truth prevails over falsehood. So, truth must ultimately prevail over falsehood. So, judges' assertion that the best armor for the state and citizen is truth. Even for democracy, truth should go. Best armor for state and the citizens is truth. This assertion should not go unheeded.